Well, Ian, thanks for joining us. Drawn at home to a team from a lower league, winning 2-0, couldn't have asked for much more, really.
No, I think so. I think, overall a solid performance, professional performance. I thought, if I'm honest, the game was probably won in the first half, where, I thought we were good in terms of our attacking play. We created, obviously, some good opportunities, and obviously scored 2 good goals as well, which we're pleased with. Probably a little bit surprised we were with their tactics in the second half. We probably thought they'd come at us and kind of leave some space for us to go and exploit. They seemed to kind of do the opposite and sat in a little bit, which is always difficult then to go and kind of break a team down, and they were looking to play counter-attack. A little bit disappointed probably with the quality on the ball second half. I think if we're ultra critical, we should have been more ruthless. We had some good chances to probably go and win it by more. But like you said, a clean sheet, a 2-0 win, progressing obviously to the next round. I think overall on the back of what's been a good week last week, we've got to be really happy with that.
Yeah, and I think it would be not unfair to say the game fizzled out a bit really in the second half, which you've just hinted at yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think credit to them. They obviously I thought it was a really good game first half actually. That they certainly gave it a go, and they looked to be quite aggressive with their approach first half, and I thought we probably had the better of that in terms of chances and in terms of possession. And like I said, I thought we played some really good stuff. But as tends to happen, like I said, 2-0. Without disrespecting them, it was quite comfortable for us second half, and without them committing a lot of bodies forward, we could dictate possession really. And like I said, the hardest bit is then the final third, and we struggled a little bit with that in terms of getting in behind, I thought, but we had a couple of good openings to score more and didn't do so today. But always happy with clean sheets. I'm sure there's probably been a couple of upsets in the trophy today, and like you said, they're a decent team in one league below, so they're no mugs either. So to get the job done the way we did, I think it's got to be pleasing all round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think quite possibly, I don't have any stats to prove this, that might have been the most number of successful passes we've had in a game. But what about the ball up to the front men though? Did it let it down a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. We talked about that at half time. We thought maybe we were forcing the ball in there a little bit too often. Like you said, we had long spells of possession today, which I think we've got to see as a positive, because that hasn't been the case in some of our games. We've been the team that's maybe played a little bit more on the counter attack, so it's probably a different feel for us today to have long spells of possession, especially in the second half. But yeah, I think that's always the bit, isn't it, where you're judged on, is that final third bit. And like I said, we just, other than the first half, where I thought we were good in that respect, and we were fluid with our passing and our movement in the final third, I thought second half we let ourselves down in that area a little bit, and it's stuff for us certainly to keep working on, and it's a work in progress still. We're probably going to keep saying it for the next couple of months, and people will get bored of hearing it, but it's a new team again, new combinations we're playing from the Slough game. Obviously similar players, Greg playing a little bit deeper off of Heidi today, so we're still obviously working on those things as well. So like I said, we've got to be happy with a 2-0 win. Sure.
It looked to me like Armani was playing fairly deep today. Was that my imagination?
No, I think Armani obviously wants to get on the ball. He's certainly a confident young man, a really good footballer. And to be honest, I thought second half his energy kind of kept us going from midfield, and he had some really good driving runs and put a couple of decent balls in for Heidi. But yeah, I think we obviously knew, especially when they sat off, we had to probably get the ball off the back four a little bit deeper and try and play from there. And I think the luxury of having both him and Toby in there together is they can both do both parts of the game very well. They can both sit a little bit deeper and pass it. They can both go and join in and get in the box, as Toby did for his goal today. So we've got that flexibility in the midfield, which is important for us.
Absolutely. And as you say, Toby got his goal. I think he's been trying fairly hard to get a goal since he came, hasn't he? Certainly the last couple of games. Yeah,
great for him. Listen, he's been outstanding since he came in terms of not just his performances, but his overall kind of attitude towards coming here and furthering obviously his development by playing senior football at this level. So he's been great to work with. Obviously, his loan's been extended, which is positive news. And happy for him today. I thought that the ball in from Max was real quality, and he timed his run great. And it was a difficult finish actually. Like it just kind of bounced up, and he got the kind of bottom of his foot to it and guided it into the corner. So great for him. I'm sure he'll score more goals. I think especially it was Chippenham a couple of weeks ago where he really kind of took the game by the scruff of the neck and started to make things happen in around the box, and he's certainly got that in his game. So hopefully the first of many for us.
Well, I'm particularly pleased because I told Dowse he scores goals up at Nottingham Forest, and he didn't believe me exactly, up till now.
Yes, you've been proved right.
And Hodgie got a goal as well.
Yeah, listen, Hodgie will probably be disappointed with his lack of goals in terms of his performances. He always seems to make something happen in the game, whether it's winning a penalty, whether it's assisting others, which he's done a lot this season, which is obviously part of his game. But another part of his game in the area of the pitch he plays is obviously the chipping with goals as well. So good for him to get a goal today. I thought he was composed actually when it kind of flashed back to him. He good first touch and slotted it in the corner as well. So good for both lads today. That obviously do their confidence a world of good in terms of goal scoring going forward.
And 2 goals scored from open play. At
last, I know.
But by midfield players, not your strikers.
Yeah, listen, it's important. I think a lot's been made obviously of the open play thing. There's loads of different ways to score a goal, and I think Douse made the point in his interview on Friday that we're second top scorers in the league. I think our goals per game record, if you take all competitions into account, is very good. And we're good that we've got different options and different ways to score goals, but it's always good. I think if your midfielders are getting in the box and scoring goals, then it's massively helpful. Sometimes it's going to be centre halves from open play. We've not had a penalty for a couple of games, so that's a bit of a worry. But no, listen, we will take goals any way we can get them, really, because they obviously you need to score to win games. But as important are clean sheets. I think that's another area we've been disappointed with a little bit, where we've had a couple of games that have probably skewed our goal difference slightly. So we've got to get that back on track, and clean sheets are a good way of doing that again. So that was really pleasing as well today.
Isn't that 4 clean sheets in November now?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, I believe
5 wins and a draw in November.
5 wins and a draw, 4 wins on the spin. So, all positive signs, aren't they? All things that successful teams need to do. And going on runs like this is important. We obviously, had a little bit of a sticky spell, not a disaster, but a little bit of a sticky spell where we've drawn a couple of games. And I think after the Bath City game, the lads kind of, got together and said, right, standards need to improve a little bit more consistently. And, since that game, it's been a really good run and a tough run of games in terms of travelling, in terms of the opposition we've played. So they deserve a lot of credit for that, the lads, and they've really put in some good performances today as well as the last couple of weeks. So we've got to be happy with that, and it gives us something to build on, obviously, going into next week.
And the inevitable question after winning a cup game, have you got any preferences who you like next in the trophy? And I realise you may well not know who's still in it.
No, I haven't seen. I've not seen the results today, to be fair. Did the National League come in next round, the Premier?
Yeah, they had a full fixture of league games today.
Listen, it's obviously a competition we want to do well in. It's obviously our realistic chance of getting to Wembley and winning something. We want to do as well as we can. And what tends to happen in this tournament is kind of it will open up later on depending on how seriously the teams from the league above take it that are involved in going for the league themselves. So I think we just got to go game by game. Whoever we get, we'll go there looking to win. I think obviously unlike the FA Cup, the strongest team we can play is a league up, which gives us a better chance. And it's a good incentive. A couple more games and you can kind of start to see that Wembley final in your sights. So certainly a competition we're taking seriously this season.
Absolutely. And finally, I'll talk to Douse next Friday about Swindon, but what will training involve this week?
I think first and foremost it's got to be competitive. I don't think we can get to this stage now and players be comfortable and and protect themselves because they want to play in that game. I think the nature of the way we've played today, coupled with the fact we've obviously got a couple of lads that we're hoping will be available to come back into the team squad next week, means that training has to be competitive. People are pushing for places. I don't think there's any certainties really in terms of the way we're going to play. We'll obviously have a look at that once we kind of suss out Swindon and start preparing for that tomorrow. But one thing we've got to be built on is being competitive and working hard, and that won't stop this week. It's not going to be a week off for the players in getting ready for that game. We've got to go kind of full throttle Tuesday and then Thursday and really go into that game flying. So hard work and a good attitude's the order of the day really this week, and nothing less than that will be acceptable. So
good to hear. Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Congratulations to all 4 of you in the management team on progress, both in the FA Cup and the trophy, and we'll see who we get on the draw next week.
Thank you. Cheers, David.